You clicked on this video because you want to make music like Iglooghost. Let's not waste any more of your time. Blues music never sounds like a loop. This is him talking about it in a point-blank workshop a couple years ago.
Every few bars, I try not just straight out copy and paste stuff. This beat's kind of a rare one because it does sort of feel like a beat because it's just like a fun one.
He actively tries not to copy and paste as he makes his music. If you listen carefully to his music, his songs always feel like they're evolving and they're taking you on a journey. This is done with both the melodies and the drums. Here are a couple examples that I could find. It's Super Ink Burst. He starts off with a drum pattern that you can hear like so. 12 bars into the song, it changes into a 4 on the floor pattern, but only for 2 bars. It then goes back into the original pattern. This only lasts for 4 bars and it's back to the 4 on the 4 pattern again. By the way, this is only 30 seconds into the song. On top of that, the main sax melody never repeats. As you can see from this whole melody is 32 bars. In total, he has 3 different sax melodies and 4 different drum loops in a space of 30 seconds. The second song is main mode. In the entire intro, which is 16 bars, the only element that is repeated is the kick every 4 bars. In fact, there is always a new element that catches our ear every 4 bars. Next, we have 16 bars of our first drop. Here, he again switches a new main element every 4 bars. We got the introductory drop, that weird sound. He then adds bells. And then after that, the vocals are the focus. For the last 4 bars, he delays his kick, but builds on the melody that was played earlier. This, by the way, all happens in the first 50 seconds of the song. New Species. Again, the first 16 bars of this song, he has 4 different drum patterns. In this particular song though, the melodies stay relatively consistent. Of course, he doesn't do it on every song, but overall, I believe this is something that you can learn. A tip for you is to make multiple melody and multiple drum patterns in a single session. After that, when you're happy with a few of the results, you can then kind of connect them using effect. With that, you've now learned the first thing that makes Iglooghost otherworldly, which is his evolving song structure. Igloo is known for his chaotic music production. We're not going to go into specific sound design techniques in this video. However, I know that he really likes to use Reason's Polar. Polar is a pitch shifting plugin in Reason, which Ableton has it, but I haven't found a way to make it sound like Polar would do. But I still believe the thinking behind how he uses Polar is extremely essential. Here is him talking about it in the same workshop.
Combination of like a pitch shifter. It also has like LFO. It can do a bunch of like fucking weird stuff. It kind of just sounds like a mess when you put anything through it. In fact, yeah, I'll do an example. Like, yeah, it just like, you can kind of tweak it like all day. And yeah, it's like always gonna sound pretty chaotic. So I'll often just export like the wet of that and then kind of quantize it and like make it actually like on pattern.
From that, we can gather that he would spend ages tweaking and making weird, chaotic sounds, saving them, and then only after quantizing them on the grid.
And like make it actually like on pattern. So like with a metronome, like this is on beat.
Ableton has the ability to warp files. It can be a tedious process, but the results really speak for itself. Additionally, warping chaos in time is extremely important because it doesn't overwhelm your listeners. If you watch my archive video, I spoke about the 3 different types of experimental music: familiar structure, unusual sound, unusual structure, familiar sounds. unusual structure, and unusual sounds. From what I noticed, Igloo is kind of like Arca and he does everything. However, if you still want your unusual sounds to sound catchy, it's best that you combine it with a familiar structure to it. It will allow you to go crazy with the sound design, but not lose your listener's attention. The next thing I want to talk about is he actually has iconic sounds that he recycles throughout his music. The typical sounds he likes recycling includes baby sounding gibberish in his music, opera sounding vocals, and metallic bell sounds. These are the few examples I could find and think of, and from what I can tell, this is pre-Ley Line Eon era. I personally feel like this is important because I think this is how you get your iconic sound as an artist. It allows people to remember you for a specific thing in your music. I'm not saying Glue doesn't create new stuff, but from what I noticed, he likes to stick to a couple of things that he really resonates. Find a sound that you're drawn to, experiment with that, and have fun. On top of all the craziness in his music, he creates worlds, characters, and even his own language to build on top of the story and package that is his music. I'm not saying you need to do the same, but this is definitely a contributing factor to why Iglooghost is one of the best producers out there and why he creates otherworldly music. If you have a different artist that you would like for me to break down, comment it down below. Otherwise, you can click on this video right here. I'll see you there.